Hey guys, wanted to do a real informal worship confessional. You remember back in the day we used to do this all the time on Got Worship. I'm not talking about the dashboard confessionals; those are entirely different. But worship confessionals are where we kind of take and debrief from the day's worship service and talk about things that went right and kind of talk about the service and kind of give you ideas and things maybe you can glean from it and just kind of debrief about it. I think that there's things that we can get as worship pastors from each other's experiences that'll really help in our own congregations. Maybe there are things that you can tell me about what's happened in your church that can help me along my path, and as well things that I can talk to you about too. I take the role that I have as a worship pastor seriously, and there are things that I glean all the time from from the guys that are on my team even. I'm loving this the new team that I've got to work with, and their hearts, and just getting to know them. And man, they're just they're a joy and a blessing. And every time I have conversations with them, and just hearing more about their lives and where they come to meet Jesus along their road of passion with worship and how they came about serving in that path of process. So that's kind of what worship confessionals are all about. Today was an interesting day for our church in that we did basically our senior appreciation day. We've got a lot of members in our church that are over 50 and above, and in keeping with that, I've always had a passion for doing a lot of songs that have that keep to some of the old hymn qualities, but at the same time, are more modern and more relevant. And I've always joked and quipped and said, I don't do just straight hymns because it's not relevant and current to today, because I don't get into the car and say, well, hey, let's turn on the hits of the 1870s. I'm more relevant and modern to what's going on today, so I think our music needs to reflect that. But at the same time, the words, they're still current for today. And if we don't have that approach, I think we just need to take the Bible and just say, well, let's just toss it aside because it's no longer relevant. You see what I'm saying? I think we can at times take songs and dumb it down way too much, especially as worship songwriters. When we take songs and you take a hymn that's got such content in these stanzas, and they say so much, and then we go fast forward to today and we take hymns or we take songs that we say, okay, let's see, I want to write a song that says, I love you, God. Yeah, I love you, God. Yeah, I love you, God. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah. And that's how we do songs today, and we're satisfied with that. So that's why I love going back to the hymns and saying, let's get back and revisit some of these meaty songs. So that's kind of what we did today. We revisited a lot of the hymns. We did a lot of them that are hymn style too, just complete old school hymns. And then some that we did in a modern style. For instance, I love doing the Daniel Doss version of Just As I Am. If you haven't done that, you really need to look it up. It's a great way of incorporating a true classical, old school hymn in its true form, but also adding along with it a modern twist. It's really a commonplace today, is just taking a hymn and then adding a chorus to it. I'm actually doing that in this evening service. I'll be taking Are You Washed in the Blood and just adding a chorus to it, just a modern, simple little 2-line chorus, and adding that to it and making it more modern, more relevant for today too as well. So those are some simple things. You'd be amazed at the difference of what that did. It had a lot of the members of the church that are the not only the older than 50 crowd that came up and said, hey, we appreciate that, but even some of the younger people that came up and said, hey, man, I like the music, having some of those older songs being sung. I think sometimes we need a recharge of that, just to focus on that. I like hearing some of those songs sometimes. I just always need to keep in mind just being able to focus on those batteries, and just keeping a good balance of when too much is too much. And one of my longtime friends and guy who's played bass with me on many occasions and drum, who's mowing his lawn right now, doesn't he know that when you're doing a worship confessional in the quiet and tranquility of your backyard, not to be cutting the grass right now? You know, but when you're doing, when you're doing those songs, you're just finding a balance of where your congregation's at. That's the beauty of being a worship pastor, is knowing the community, and knowing that balance of doing those modern hymns versus doing some that everyone is familiar with, including those that are over 50. So that's something to keep in mind. That's something that really kind of opened my eyes today, especially seeing the number of congregants that stood up when we asked who were 50 and above. So that's something that maybe you need to look at within your own congregation too as well. Just salt and peppering in some old hymns every once in a while, just doing them in a modern flavor. There are some good websites that I can refer you to as well if you're ever looking to doing some more modern style hymns. Actually, I will post down below this video a little later, right at the bottom. If you get to this video before I have a chance to go back and edit, put in the links, come back and watch it later, and we'll show it to you there as well. In any case, got to get ready to go back to church this evening. We love you guys. Have a great and blessed day.